Well, welcome along to Blues Plus, your match day home, where we'll bring you all of the build-up to this afternoon's final home game of the season at St Andrews at Knighthead Park. Mansfield Town are the visitors, and they're all that stand between the Blues and another 3 points that will take us within 1 point of Reading's EFL record set almost 20 years ago. This afternoon's game is available to watch right here on Blues Plus in certain overseas territories, and the next 45 minutes of build-up is free and available to all fans across our club channels. Stand by for a very special guest as well, who'll be joining us a little bit later on this afternoon. You won't want to miss it. It's Blues versus Mansfield Town, and it's live right here on your matchday home, Blues Plus. Well, incredible scenes that you've just witnessed there, the build-up. These are the days you dream of as a football fan, right? They're the ones you dream of, the ones you long for when you've secured that promotion and you get your hands on some silverware. Welcome to Blues Plus. As mentioned already, we're live for the next 45 minutes, building you up to that final home game of the season. We're live on YouTube, Facebook, X, and all of the club's social media channels, as well as online as well, if you're one of our subscribers. And the match is live on Blues Plus as well. So if you are one of our subscribers in an international territory, you can watch the game live on Blues Plus today, and all the information available bcfc.com. OK, special day means we've got a very special guest with us, as always, a man who knows what it's like to get his hands on some silverware and promote. Tommy Mooney. How's it going, Tommy?
Good afternoon, how are we?
Very well, thank you. We've been watching some of these pictures this afternoon as the build-up continues. Does it bring back some special memories for you?
I think it always does, you know, seeing the Blues fans steaming into the stadium. On a day like this, it seems like we've been waiting forever for it. We've been predicting it and expecting it for many months already. So finally we get to see the trophy and the boys get their medals, which is the best part of football, I can assure you.
A little bit less pressure than when you got your medal, right? Penalties and extra time and all that malarkey for you, but obviously for these guys who've been waiting a while. But yeah, a little bit less pressure today, but still a job to be done.
No, absolutely. Certainly for me, all my promotions were done in one game. You know, playoff finals, 2 of those, and then won this division, the League One trophy, on the final day at Fulham. So, you know, it's very different for these players, and it's very rare that I can talk about football and say, I don't know how it feels, because I was very, very lucky. But these boys have done tremendously well, and, you know, Fortress St Andrews at Knighthead Park has been the place to be, and certainly today, when you're rewarded for all of your hard work, it's going to be a good day.
And it's important to enjoy these moments as well, not just for the fans and the players, but the ownership, the whole city, really.
Yeah, like I just said, you work here at the Epic training ground. The players and the staff work here day in, day out, and training can become a little bit monotonous. But match day is why you become a footballer, and certainly they've won enough games this season, and you know, for everybody to see that trophy be hoisted this afternoon will be certainly a great time.
No, certainly we're going to be a great atmosphere inside St Andrews at Knighthead Park for this one. Let's bring you some team news then ahead of the match for this one then. The team's announced a little while ago on social media. Tommy, look, we expected a few changes midweek. We got those, and same again for this match as well. A few faces coming back in. Could argue the strongest 11 we've got. Yeah,
I think so, and I think that's the beauty of it. I've mentioned many times that the recruitment in the summer was probably the best that we've had for quite some time, and you know, this is the 4th game in 9 days, I think it is, and the strength of the squad has certainly got us through that period. And yeah, you could argue everybody will have their opinion on what is the best starting 11, but this is a strong team today, because there is something still to play for, ironically, even given they've ticked every box this season virtually. But to get to that points total, you need your top team, and we need to start scoring goals and finish the season well.
And a name on that subs bench who I'm sure we're going to see an appearance from at some point today, Lukas Djukovic, always ever present over the last kind of decade or so. Obviously his announcement for retirement there, but I guess we're going to see him at some point today.
Oh, I'm certain of it and hopeful of it. And you know, we at the game on midweek, Dukey's mug was the talk of the town. So, you know, to see him play at St Andrews at Knighthead Park one more time will be wonderful. And, you know, hopefully he'll get the reception he deserves.
No, he certainly will for that one. You mentioned there, the game's coming thick and fast. Just it seems like we've spent our entire week here, really. We've not really gone home. That game, obviously midweek, Stevenage as well. That was a good game to get over that points mark, wasn't it? A big kind of boundary. Yeah,
it was a very similar game to one we've seen many times this year, where it's, they perhaps come out a little bit more than I expected them to. They did have a defensive block. It wasn't as low as I thought. They came at us, and we finally got the goal, and what a goal it was. So, yeah, another box ticked. That's all they've done this season, Chris Davies and his players.
Yeah, it certainly has. Of course, we mentioned those games coming thick and fast, and we can look back at some of the highlights from that 1-0 victory during the week.
And then there's Dal, reverse ball into Harris, and then Taylor Gardner-Hickman, right-hand side, looking to take on Butler, driving towards the byline, pulls the ball back, Kesh Anderson can touch out of his feet in the penalty area, and then there's Alfie May, left-footed. Long ball forward by Allsop, met by Sweeney, not convincingly, as he headed it straight to Keshi Anderson. Anderson, overlapping run by Harris, left-footed ball into the penalty area, it might drop for Alfie May, out comes Ashby Hammond, and then Taylor Gardner-Hickman blazes the effort over the crossbar after the parry from the Stevenage goalkeeper on the follow-up. It's a packed 6-yard box. It's a left-it-out swinger. It's towards Good, who heads it down. And then Reid couldn't make any sort of contact in front of Ryan Allsop. Retrieved by Dow, near side the right. Tries to clip it to the edge of the penalty area. Via deflection, it makes it to Cochrane, who hits it first time! Oh, my goodness me! What a sensational strike from Alex Cochrane. It's some way to fire in your first Birmingham goal. Actually, that's going to be...
oh, he's done it again, Jay. Got the shoulder again.
Spins away down the left-hand side from Wilding, and he'll pull it back towards Kieran Dowell. He'll leave it for Tomoki Iwata, who places his effort over the crossbar into the away supporters behind.
High, keep him out the 18-yard box as much as you can.
It's clipped to the edge of the Blues penalty area. Phillips out wide, Butler will swing it in. The heads were up, struck towards goal. An important save from Ryan Allsop, down to his left-hand side. Hasn't been called into action to do much this evening.
Well, let's get some post-match thoughts from that game then, from that goal scorer, Alex Cochrane, and the gaffer.
Alex, thanks very much for joining us. Let's start, of course, by talking about your very first Birmingham City goal. Can you take us through the strike?
It just sort of fell nicely to me. I just thought, I'm just going to hit this, and luckily enough, it went into the bottom corner. Didn't quite know what to do with the celebration afterwards. Boys are giving me a bit of stick for that, but I'm obviously happy to contribute and get the 3 points tonight.
I think we were just saying as well, that's your first goal in quite a long time. And where are you ranking it in terms of best goals in your career so far?
Yeah, it's probably the best goal I've scored. It's been about 2 years since my last goal, so it's nice to finally get one. It's a great feeling. Hopefully it can come a bit more regularly next season. But I'm really happy to help the team get 3 points.
The win takes you over the 100 points threshold. That's a really rare thing to happen in football, and does it feel really special to get there with this team?
Yeah, definitely. It's been a hard season. We know this league's been tough. So we've had to proper work hard and grind out results. It's been another one. But yeah, to reach over 100 points is credit to the team. There's still more points to play for, so we'll refocus and go against Sunday.
Well, Gaffer, congratulations. Centurions, just the 9th side in EFL history to surpass the 100 points mark. How big an achievement is that?
Well, it's a wonderful achievement to, go and get 100 points in a season. 102 points in a season is, incredible effort from the players. We've still got 3 games to go, of course. But, yeah, I was always aware that if we could hit that target, that would be pretty special and, a really strong performance to go and get it tonight.
Looking ahead to Sunday, a special day at St Andrews, as we say, the incentive of maintaining that unbeaten record on home soil, a trophy lift at the end of it as well. How much are you looking forward to the whole spectacle of Sunday's game?
I am looking forward to it immensely. Obviously, there's a game of football to play and everything, but it's going to be, one of the most special days of my life, absolutely by far. And I'm sure for a lot of the players will feel the same about it. And I just want the club to enjoy it. I want the fans to enjoy it. I want everyone to enjoy it because, there's ups and downs in football. When it's good, celebrate, enjoy it, savour it because, it doesn't always come around too often. So we're going to pick a trophy up that we fully deserve, and I hope everyone can really, really enjoy the day.
Well, another fantastic result then on the road for Blues. Tommy, Alex's goal. We've seen a couple of first goals in the last few games as well. A couple of players stepping up still towards the end of the season. Obviously a special moment to get that kind of first Blues goal, but took it incredibly well.
He did. He really did. And I was watching the game with Scott Wright, so we both said wow and looked at each other. Thought, he said, great guy. He's put in some really good performances this season too, has Alex. So, delighted for him to get a goal, and what a way to take it.
Yeah, no, massive. And that depth of squad, we keep talking about it, but it just generally seems every single week there's someone else stepping up to the plate. The team is stepping up the plate to do something. To have a squad like that, how important is that? We've obviously mentioned the last few games of games coming thick and fast, but when you've got a chance to end on 111 points, that there's always someone in the team you can look to and someone will step up.
Well, I think essentially when you look back and you look at successful teams, it's how many people can you trust in that team. And if you can get up to double figures with people you trust in the team and in the squad, then you've got a really good chance. And they've proved that this season. They've been outstanding. Whoever's started the games, whoever's come onto the pitch to finish the games, or the closers, if you like. It used to be just subs in my day. Now they're closers. But certainly, it's the strength of the squad, but it's also down to the manager for picking the right team on the right day. And yes, because there's so many games in such a short period, he has utilised the strength of his squad, and he's done it very, very well.
Alex mentioned there, first goal, but want to get some more next season. How soon as a player do your thoughts turn to that next season? Because the promotion's incredible. You won that promotion to the promised land of the Premier League and all those kind of pieces. How soon does your mind switch? Because obviously you want your end of season break, but there's got to be a little bit of something in there going, do you know what? I want some more of this. We've got a really good team ethos here. Let's get going.
I think while they're still in the dressing room and until the season finishes, they'll be thinking about next season. But then you do switch off. You have to switch off as a player and as a coach and a manager. You have to switch off. But that won't be for the duration of the summer. They'll be looking forward to next year and what they're going to do. It's certainly, success brings a little bit of uncertainty too, because each player will be thinking, well, I hope I'm in the team next season. That'll certainly be, when they're laid on the beach, that'll cross their mind, I can assure you. So, it was very similar for me when I was at Birmingham. I couldn't really say to Steve Bruce, listen, I can't believe you're playing Christophe Dugarry instead of me. I mean, he's won the World Cup. Wow. What do I know? It's the idea is when you go up a level, that you bring in better players to play with the ones that are there. So, certainly that's will be an objective of the club, but it's nothing to do with the players. Let the recruitment department and the ownership deal with that. The players are here to enjoy it. And the day that you get awarded your medal is the best day in your career. So today they should enjoy it. But what I would say is, Chris Davies mentions there in his interview, there is a game of football to play. And with that points tally to go, you don't want to have a disappointing performance today and then be given the trophy. You want to really show off your skills and how good your group of men are.
I guess it's quite unusual as well, is it, to be in this position of gaining promotion, but then still having a couple of games to go and actually still have something quite exciting to play for. It's not just, we've won it. It's, we've won it and we could break another record here and really show a statement of intent.
It just gives them something to strive for. They've been striving all season and ticked every box. Yeah, there's a couple of games left, but this is the last one at St Andrews at Knighthead Park, so you want to finish the season well at home, because it's their home form that's got them to the point that they're in. Is it 22 games at home, unbeaten. St Andrews at Knighthead Park is that fortress that everybody wants their home ground to be.
It certainly is. And talking of that fortress, for the first time today, let's get ourselves pitch side, because it's going to be an incredible atmosphere inside that stadium today. The teams are out getting themselves warmed up, but Will Brazier is inside the stadium for us. And Will, tell us what's coming our way.
Sun is shining in the sky, and there's no place I'd rather be than St Andrews at Knighthead Park for our final home game of the season. What a year it's been, and what a day it's going to be today. 27,000 of these dotted around. Get them on. If I've nicked yours, I can only apologise. What else have we got? The unbeaten record. Can we keep it? Fortress St Andrews. I'm sure we can. We need everyone cheering. Get behind the boys, making some noise. And if you can tell there's a little bit of emotion in my voice, it's because it's the last ever home game of the Duke. We've had some memories here with him. Good, bad, ugly. He's been there. An absolute hero. So everyone's going to be here today making the noise for him. because what a servant, what a guy he's been for our club. What a year we've had as well. We've kept the unbeaten record. I was here for the first game of the season against Reading. Then we had Wrexham, absolutely destroyed them. Every man in the dog was here for that one. And we've had some great times here as well with the Bradford semi-final, the Newcastle. I was down in the Tilton, probably one too many Guinness, but I wasn't working, so that's all right. And today, can we top it off? Lifting the trophy. I mean, we don't get days like this. The sun is shining. It's absolutely brilliant. I'm going to be here all day, bringing the excitement for you. And in about 20 minutes, I'll be speaking with Tom Wagner.
Well, there we go. That's Will said there. He'll be chatting to Tom Wagner a little bit later on in the show. Tommy, it's a glorious day at St Andrews at Knighthead Park today. These end-of-season games, I always think you've kind of start the season, it's nice and sunny, and then you get this long winter. Then all of a sudden you start going to a game, you don't have to take your coat, and you can kind of enjoy it. Was there a different vibe for you on some of these last games of the season, last home games, those final few?
Yeah, your last home game, whether it's a successful season like it has been this one or not, your last home game, you want to give the supporters something to shout about and something to remember over the close season. So really important, the last home game, whatever happens. But when you get in a trophy and a medal at your last home game, then that's a special season. And you know they've worked so hard, and today is their reward.
No, it certainly is. We've touched on it already a few points. Will mentioned it there as well. This 100-point mark, those 3 points midweek took us over that. And there's still so many more points we can get, and still 9 points still available, which would be incredible. If you could write a script for a season, it's pretty special, isn't it? To achieve that level of points and to get promotion is a very special thing to do.
I would imagine it's surpassed everybody's dream. You know, everybody said we want to get promoted. Most people thought we would get promoted. It's easier said than done. Once that ball rolls, it's a difficult game because everybody raises their game. You know, the Mansfield players today will play better at St Andrews at Knighthead Park than they would do anywhere else because of the atmosphere, because of the stadium, and essentially because of the people in it. They're hungry, raucous supporters that demand success. And, you know, we look at the table there. That is success.
Yeah.
Points, goals, performances, everything, and still an opportunity to become record breakers. It has been a wonderful season. Yeah,
the table there ahead of yesterday's fixtures, of course, Wrexham securing that promotion point with Wycombe dropping away in those last couple of games. When you look at how tight the top of that table is as well, for us to have pulled away from there as well, it could have been a very different season if some results hadn't gone our way and we hadn't had that fortress at St Andrews at Knighthead Park, because, you know, you've got teams down there that are going to end up in the playoffs that, for Wycombe, for example, for quite a while, thought they were going to get that automatic place.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, we were talking about it being a three-team race for probably two or 3 months pre-Christmas. And it's been that solid, consistent and efficient football that we've played, certainly at home. I mean, that home record is incredible. 18 wins, 4 draws, and the opportunity to go and win again there today and beat 1 points tally. It's really has been a good season. But you look at some of those teams, look at the run that Charlton have had. Yeah. There's always, often one team that surges into a playoff position. But Charlton almost surged into an automatic position. Thankfully, we're not worried about anything that happens below us because we finished number 1, and it's the shiniest medal of the lot. It really is.
Obviously, Scott on Thursday was trying to tell us all that we're not thinking about records. You know, we just want to go and win the games and do the job. There's got to be a little bit of that in the back of your mind, though, surely.
No, but I think that helps because they've achieved so much this season that it's almost like everything is done with, 6 games to go. Well, that gives them something to chase, and it gives you another reward at the end of your good performances. It's certainly, you know, you look at Reading's record total there, 108 points. We can surpass that certainly with another 3 good performances. And it's not like we have to overachieve in those games. We just have to be consistent again to tick over those points.
And that was in 2005, 2006. Records like this can stand the test of time, right? And if you can get to 111, that's going to be a very difficult feat to beat.
No, absolutely. You know, that's so long ago, I was still playing. That's how long ago it was. So, yes, I consider Reading at that time to be a really strong team in that division and go on to the Premier League. But certainly, if you surpass that, it will be much longer. I can assure you, before that record is broken. So Birmingham City could be in the record books for a very long time.
Yeah, massively. We've obviously spoken, you've mentioned there already that St Andrews at Knighthead Park is a fortress. What is it? What's that magic formula that makes your home ground that special? And I guess, is it momentum? You just get a run, that luck, and then all of a sudden it just keeps coming? What's that special sauce for making it your kind of castle?
Yeah, I mean, you have to have luck. Even if you've got the best team with the best players in any division, doesn't necessarily mean you're going to win it like we have. You have to have a little bit of luck, but it's the organisation and the hard work from everybody. It's not just the players and the manager and the coaching staff, it's everybody. You know, from the chef to the guy on the turnstiles, everybody looks forward to their work. And when you succeed and tick the boxes that we have this season, you know, that's your reward for it. But St Andrews at Knighthead Park is just a wonderful. I was really lucky during my time, and when we were getting promoted, it was a full house every week, like it is now. And you see those supporters, and they're chanting your name or chanting your team's name. It is an incredible experience. You know, I signed for this football club because of the atmosphere that I felt and heard as an away player here in a playoff semi-final, and to hear that for the first time for me was an emotional experience, and it still is. Because of those supporters, they're wonderful.
From a player's perspective, you mentioned that was one of the reasons for coming to this club. How special and how rare is that you have a group of fans that are like that, that even when your backs are against the wall, you go one game down. I remember years ago, there was always that conversation in West Ham. If you can get one goal up against West Ham at Upton Park, you got a good chance because the fans will turn. We're so lucky, aren't we, that fan base, through thick and thin, sticks with you. How special is that as a player, that you know you've got that support all the time? I
think particularly this season it's really helped the team because the fans have been patient, because teams have come to St Andrews at Knighthead Park with a low block, and if we don't score early, they'll keep that low block for as long as they can. And Scott Wright talked about it in midweek. You know, it's about having that patience to consider what the manager wants and how he wants you to play with those, you know, the shapes and the positions that he wants to fill. But it's also the supporters not getting on the players' back if it is still 0-0 after 70 minutes. And that, for me, has been the biggest success of the season. Yes, it's been a wonderful match day experience. You know, the fan parks, the fireworks, the flames, the noise, the songs. Match day at St Andrews at Knighthead Park isn't just about 90 minutes anymore. And that's what the owners have brought to the football club. It's about everything, you know. It's about this show, the fan parks, being there 2-3 hours before and extending it. Now it's a real match day. It's not a match 90 minutes.
No, massively. And I think what's also really special is that this isn't just the men's team. This is right across the board. The success is coming thick and thin. We've seen the women's 21s winning a trophy, and obviously there's a chance still for the women's team to clinch promotion as well. They're away at Newcastle today. They get a win today, a great opportunity to come to St Andrews at Knighthead Park next weekend and secure promotion.
Well, it sets up a really good finish to the season, doesn't it? You know, we had a couple of the players in last week that were really excited about what could happen to the women's team and how that could finish. You know, everybody talks about the men's team have won the second trophy of the season. It would be wonderful if we could get the third trophy of the season from the women's team, and it's a big day today because they've got to win today to set next week up.
And they are. They're 1-0 up against Newcastle, currently Maggie on 27 minutes with a goal as well. So all is looking good for next weekend. You can watch that game live on the FA YouTube channel as we speak. So as we're going to do when this game kicks off, we're going to have another device set up and watch both at the same time as well. OK, there is still lots to come your way before the end of the season. We mentioned we've still got those extra couple of away games as well. So hopefully if you're on the road to go and see Blues in action, you're going to enjoy those and some more points. But there's still plenty more happening off the pitch as well, because we have Blues Fest, which is coming up for you on Sunday, the 11th of May. Make sure you join us for that. A great day out for all the family. Chance to see the Blues legends in action take on West Bromwich Albion. There's going to be lots to do to keep everyone entertained, and all the money raised from that event is going to go and support the incredible work done by the BCFC Foundation. So do get along and support that if you can. That is Sunday, the 11th of May at St Andrews at Knighthead Park. And then, of course, another chance to celebrate some success. The last few spaces are available for the End of Season Player Awards. That's happening on Sunday, the 4th of May at the ICC Birmingham. And it's your chance to celebrate with both the men's and the women's teams and be the first to know who's going to win the big prizes on the night. Live music and hosted by Match of the Day presenter Kelly Summers as well. So an incredible set of activities between now and the end of season still. Tommy, End of Season Awards. Special time to recognise players that have contributed throughout the season as well.
Particularly with a successful season like this. You know, I was at the End of Season Awards last year and it was quite a sombre affair, obviously. I'll be there this season too and looking forward to it. Everybody's a VIP on that occasion, and certainly when you've won something and achieved what the players have this season, and hopefully the women's team as well. You know, it'll be a really good night. I'll certainly be having the Monday morning off work.
Certainly. If you haven't got your ticket yet, there are still a few tickets available, so make sure you come and join the party. Now, if you joined us on Bank Holiday Monday, you may remember we did some 3-word reviews for the season, and we thought to kind of get on the show today, we'd get another bit of a season review, and we thought we'd get a special guest in to get their thoughts on how the season's been and their thoughts on everything thus far heading into the final home game of the season. So a little bit earlier on, Will Brazier caught up with Tom Wagner.
Tom, special day, sun is shining. How are you feeling? Are you looking forward to it?
I'm feeling great. I mean, nothing better than winning the league and giving our supporters a well-deserved time to celebrate. And I'm hopeful that everyone has as much fun today as I think I'll have. It's going to be, you know, a wonderful opportunity for us to celebrate what has been an incredible season and hopefully a historic season.
This place has been an absolute fortress this year. Is that like how much you put down to that to the fans and like, keeping the record going as well?
It's impossible to say anything other than you know, the supporters make a huge difference. It's like having a 12th man on the pitch, and that's why we're undefeated here this season. You know, knock wood. Hopefully that remains through today. But I think it's unquestionable, and we saw this last season as well, that when we sell out St Andrews at Knighthead Park, we have great results. And I'm really excited for the fact that for next season, we already have a pretty massive waiting list for season tickets, which suggests that we should see, you know, a lot of full stadiums next season as well.
There's so much positivity about the place as well, but obviously that's just bled into the whole, every fabric of the club as well. How important has that been for you as well, to get that positivity and keep it going?
I think it's critical. I mean, when we came, this was a club that was surrounded with a lot of negativity. And I think what we're trying to do is create an atmosphere that's, you know, really brighter, you know, more rosy type of atmosphere where people really are focused on the very best things in life. And I think this should be part of that. That's what we're trying to create for them, and I hope that remains the same.
What have been your sort of personal highlights of being here? Because, I mean, I can count 10 games off the top of my head that have been absolutely amazing. What have been some of yours?
Yeah, I think, gosh, there's so many that have been really, really memorable. I think the one that stands out for me perhaps most of all is how we played against Newcastle.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a very, very special match that technically was a draw. At least in my eyes.
Yeah,
and, you know, to play against a side that's of that quality as well as we did, and to really compete at the highest level of English football is a wonderful thing to see. And I think it says a lot about the determination of our players and their self-confidence, and I hope that we're able to continue that into next season and beyond.
So with success, obviously that brings a lot of other things onto the table. How do you sort of manage that ambition going forward from this fan base?
The way we manage the ambition is not to manage it.
Yeah.
Like, just let it completely carry away. There's nothing wrong with dreaming about what could be. And there's nothing wrong with setting your sights very, very high. Because as we often say at Knighthead, if you can't say it, you can't do it. And so we've got to be able to say that this is our ambition, this is where we're going, this is what we want to achieve. And if we set those goals and we work really, really hard to achieve them in collaboration with everyone at the club and all of our supporters, we will achieve those goals.
And speaking of those goals, on pitch and off pitch, are you really happy with where the club's at going forward?
No, we won't rest until we're at the very, very top. That's the objective. And so, you know, it's wonderful what we've done, but we're not going to, you know, pat ourselves on the back. I always say when you pat yourself on the back, you risk spraining your arm. So don't bother, right? You know, just keep working, and that's what we'll do. You know, I can assure you that this summer we'll be working harder than we have, you know, than we did last summer, for sure.
And just finally, obviously, the domestic fan base is growing, and internationally that's so important as well. Like, what sort of steps are being done to do that, and what sort of things have you seen already from that side of things?
Well, I think it's about bringing a good product. Certainly, what you're doing right now is part of that, right? The ability to produce high quality video content and distribute it through our platform is important, because there's a lot of fans that don't have the opportunity to be here on this beautiful day. I'm actually a little bit hot right now, which is a far cry from how I felt a couple months ago. But getting that product to be of better quality and distributing it more broadly is something that we're incredibly focused on. And I think you'll continue to see those advancements over time, where we're creating something that has great appeal to people outside of Birmingham, because that's how we grow our revenue. What we don't want to do is rely on charging our local supporters more. It's not a realistic way to grow the club. The way to grow the club is to create a better story, a broader story that appeals to a greater audience, and then we can still have season tickets and match day tickets that are reasonably priced.
Is that you're really going to enjoy today?
Yeah, I'm going to have a lot of fun today.
Thanks,
I'm
Tom.
pretty sure we're going to have a piece of silver today.
Oh yeah, 100%. Thanks for that, Tom.
Thank you.
Sure, you can't help but feel inspired every time you hear him speak. I love that, from an ownership of a football club, to kind of say, we're not going to pat ourselves on the back today, we're going to keep working, keep striving. But also, the way that Knighthead are doing it, they're just letting the team do the thing, they're supporting the team, they're supporting the manager, but working so hard behind the scenes. It's almost a perfect combination that's helped create this perfect storm.
Well, it's not the norm, is it? From an owner of a football club, that's not the norm. Normally it's about managing expectation. But he's saying, if you can't say it, you can't do it. And, it's about that inspirational leadership. Chris Davies does it with the players, but Tom Wagner and the rest of the Knighthead team, they're more than happy to talk about how successful this football club could be going on long term into the future, and about taking the brand and the football club global. We see it with what you would call, the big six teams. Yes, they are global brands. Wouldn't it be great to have Birmingham City in amongst all of that? And, you'd almost stop yourself from saying that a year ago, 2 years ago. But now, if Tom Wagner's saying it, then I'm saying it as well.
There we go. Should be a T-shirt. If Tom says it, I say it. No, it certainly is. Right. So today's opposition then, taking on Mansfield Town, a team that we had to share the spoils with earlier on in the season. Let's take a look back at the highlights from that game.
So again, Blues unfortunate not to have a free kick there, and what would have stunted that Mansfield attack. But yeah,
Given away by Pym, and Williamson's onside, denied by Pym, who makes up for his error.
I don't know if his feet left the ground, but yeah, his momentum certainly made it dangerous.
The initial free kick is half cleared by Mansfield. It will be picked up by Paik Sung-ho. So Lee Gregory searching his 7th of the season. Dangerous position, dangerous player, and that's why.
To say he just wouldn't come down, and that's why he went for the lob rather than allowing it to fall and strike it.
Evans, and now McLaughlin from the angle. Brilliant save by Allsop, he palms over his crossbar.
Well, there we go then. That was a little bit earlier on in the season. Tommy, from their perspective, they've only got 1 point in their last 5 games, but they're going to want to come and achieve something today. They want to take a positive to end their season. They've got one more game left after this one. We're going to guess Nigel Clough's going to come with that kind of low block, as we've expected everyone as they've come to St Andrews at Knighthead Park this season. But how do you kind of see this one playing out?
Well, they'll certainly want to come here and kill the mood of the afternoon. They'll know exactly what's going to happen after the game, and they'll want to be the ones that got points and a win at St Andrews at Knighthead Park. So they'll be enthusiastic. They'll be delighted with their run of form that they're in, that they're still maintain their status in League One and not being involved in the relegation. So they'll be delighted with that. Maybe a little bit more relaxed than they have been in previous games. So certainly it will be a big, tough challenge, but it's nothing that these players haven't overcome this season already at St Andrews at Knighthead Park.
Yeah, I guess it's one of those teams, isn't it? When you're playing against someone who's not had a great string of results over the last couple of months, their certainly mind isn't on the beach. It's not like there's, oh, we've done all right, it'll be fine. These guys want to prove a point still.
Well, they're also playing for their futures. You know, some of them will be out of contract, some of them will be wanting a move. So certainly, this is the biggest stage of all in this division. Our stadium is the biggest stage. So those players will want to show off on that stage. It's about the players sticking to the routine, sticking to the plan, and being patient with that low block that we will inevitably see this afternoon, but break it down at some point, and that's the key to it.
No, it certainly is. And of course, remember, if you are in some international territories, you can watch the game live on Blues Plus. Just go to the website bcfc.com to find out all those regulations of how you can watch it live. It's great to have your company in this build-up as we continue to count down to kick-off. Let's look at the two sides then ahead of this one as well. We are less than 10 minutes away from the last home game of the season. This is how Mansfield Town line up this afternoon for them. Pim in goal, of course, who pulled off some great saves we've just seen from that highlight reel as well. So some dangers in their team, Tommy.
Yeah, they've obviously got strength at the back with big Aidan Flint, certainly, but his movement needs to be tested, not his aerial prowess, and I'm sure that we'll see that. Obviously, you know, Jordan Rhodes is a finisher, Jordan Bowery, ex-Villa player, so there's no players in that team that would get in our side. That's the key to it for me. I think you always, when you look at an opposition, you think, yeah, he's decent, but would he get in our team? The answer is no.
And importantly, then let's look at the team this afternoon. Blues lining up as follows. We expected some changes from what we saw the other day. Jay Stansfield back at the front line. Still looking for that record as well. 19 goals. Can he get over 20?
Yeah, and it's a big thing for any striker. When you join, it is a new club. He's our player now. He's on loan last season. But to get to 20 league goals in his first season is a big achievement. 15 was always the marker that you look for, and then you hope to get over 20. So certainly for him and Alfie, there's still 3 games to go and targets to reach, as well as there is for the team with points.
Yeah, we mentioned obviously that strong bench as well. It's not to be underestimated. That, like you say, that Alfie May's on the bench. He's going to be looking for something. So if you are back against the wall today, you've got some options that can really shake it up.
Yeah, but that's all over the pitch. You look at Alex Cochrane was only on the pitch about 3 minutes before he scored the winning goal the other night. So yeah, it's about that, utilising the squad, and certainly the strength of it does help, because it may well be that we're going to have to be patient. We don't want to be. We want goals all afternoon to keep the noise and the joyous mood in the stadium. But if we have to be patient, then we do so.
Yeah, massively. Hopefully, in a few minutes, we'll start seeing images as well from the build-up inside the stadium. So I think it's important we turn our attention now to what's happening inside that ground now. The fans are well and truly having a party. The scarves are out. Tom Wagner's in the stands. The atmosphere inside St Andrews now, it's going to be pretty special.
It's absolutely bouncing, I'm certain of it, and I'm a little bit jealous that we're in the studio here at Epic and not in the stadium. But look at the scenes there. It really is a wonderful sight, and hopefully we get to celebrate some goals this afternoon and hear that noise.
Yeah, massively. If you're watching on the live stream from our international territories, make sure you do stick around after the game, because we will be bringing you that trophy presentation as well. Those moments, of course, incredibly special when you lift that trophy. The players are going to be able to not just share this with the fans, but their family as well.
Yeah, absolutely. That's, key to it, because sometimes you just think of the footballer as the entity, but it's not. There's a family behind every footballer, and without their help, you can't commit to your performances and your. Sometimes it's just how tired you are when you come into the house, and the schedule has been so thick this season that it's pretty much for the last 2 months it's just been about play, recover, and you sometimes miss out on things. But that's the joyous part of winning a promotion, winning a trophy, and winning a medal. It's easy for me to say, because I can look back on my career and know that the promotions I won were the highlights. As an individual, yes, you score goals that you love, but it's about celebrating with your team, and with your supporters, and they've got a great chance to do that today. Those Mansfield supporters that we see there are very lucky to be in that stadium.
They certainly are. They certainly are. Well, the party has started already because the women's team are 1-0 up at half-time. They're 45 minutes closer to that title. But we know today another 3 points on the board takes us even closer to that record. But we know it's going to be a special day as well. So let's get you inside that stadium and hand over to your commentators, Matt Delaney and Marcus Painter.
Our sanctified home on Coronation Day, and once more this side are on the brink of writing yet more history. Avoid defeat today and these players will become only the 4th Birmingham City side in 150 proud years to go unbeaten in a league season here at St Andrews at Knighthead Park. Not just that, but more. Victory today sees us no longer stand amongst the League One greats, but surpass them as the best team to exist in this division. A season of resurgence and redemption awaits its crowning glory today on a turf that has been restored to its loud and proud best in the second city. As the Mansfield players and staff flank the tunnel to give the League One champions a guard of honour in our sanctified St Andrews home as Christoph Clara